Hey everybody, it's Angela, and I am back with another altered book today. And this is just a simple binder that I made that I am filling with a bunch of scraps. Every once in a while, my scraps build up, the junk mail and things that I save build up, and I just need to get them into a book and kind of get them sorted out as to what I'm going to keep and what I need to just get rid of. And so I don't usually buy anything for these, but I was at my local thrift store and I saw a really big old book for $1. And actually, they had several, so I bought a couple dollars worth of old books that I could alter. And I'm just going to put binder rings in them. And here you can see I'm going through, there's a piece of junk mail, a thank you card from some seeds I had ordered. This is a color guide swatch. I had purchased something from Castle, some colored pencils, and they always send one of these with your purchase, and I just love all the rainbow of colors on there. So I tore it in half and turned it into a pocket, so I'm just trimming up the edges, and I'm going to punch my holes on one side, and then I'm also going to take a circle punch and just cut a thumb hole in the top, so you'll kind of be able to tell that it's an actual pocket. And I've done this before. It's just a nice way to be able to use these color swatch guides and be able to kind of leave them exposed, maybe not necessarily put a picture or something on top of them, use them as a pocket instead and put your things inside and be able to save all those beautiful rainbow of colors there. So that's another thing I saved. That was just, like I said, out of a purchase. I have a few book pages because when I get an old book and tear it apart, I'll save the pages out of them. I have old playing cards and other junk mail that I've received that I'm going to use in this. And a lot of times if I were to buy like a deck of cards, that gives you a lot of cards to use. So it takes me a while to go through something like that. And I usually always get them at thrift stores. And the books and stuff, a lot of times I get the discarded ones at the library, especially ones where pages have been ripped out by kids or partly colored on that they're just going to throw away anyways. Those are the books that I love to take apart and upcycle, because otherwise, they're just going to go in the trash bin. So here I am. I'm using my junk mail that I've already punched as kind of a template to punch this other item that came, I think, also with a seed purchase. It was like some little coloring pages for kids. Let's see, I have just some smaller scraps and a few that were a little bit larger that I use in here too. I'm also going to put in here the first page from the book that I've altered. And I just realized there I drew the circles on to punch it, and I realized I did it on the wrong side of the paper. So I'm going to include the front page from that shows the date and all that kind of stuff. And then this is just a random book page that I had in my stash. I think there's a page from a thing of paper dolls and some extra writing paper. And like I said, these different scraps. And here is the actual book, and it's a directory of special libraries. And what was cool was that, first of all, it still had the library pockets inside. And it also says National Air and Space. It was originally in the NASA library, and even at the back of the book, it has a NASA library card pocket. And I just thought that was really cool. And I love the fact that it had a big spine. I didn't actually measure it, but it's got to be at least a good 3 inches. And the information, it was just a bunch of places with addresses, and of course most of the addresses aren't valid anymore, and it wasn't something you could really read, so nobody wanted it, and it was destined for the trash. So I'm just upcycling it. I don't know, I don't have a use in mind for this, so right now I'm just using it to hold my scraps. And as you can see, when my scraps get small like this, I use my die cuts and I cut them into all these various tags and pockets. And I use a lot of my Elizabeth Craft dies that already have the binder holes in them. So that way I can put together an altered binder really quickly. And it's just a way to use my scraps. Instead of having them in my scrap bin, I've kind of got them in that tray in a usable form. So I'm just kind of going through and pulling out some of those that I want to use on there. And as you can see, I turned some of them into tags, and I rounded the corners on some of them. I have an old floppy disk. There's the front page of the book. I had some old pockets that's what I'm gluing one of these down onto is the actual pocket, and I think those were like I forget, I want to say a Lisa Gibson or something. I don't know, it was really old, and I had a series of them in my stash. I've used pockets here and there, but I think I used 3 or 4 of them in this binder. And this would be a place where I would keep like different receipts and clothing tags and random photos or cards, mail, really just a smash book type of binder. There you can see I had like a Cocoa Daisy card. There's my book page. This other postcard is one from the Sketchbox when I used to be subscribed to Sketchbox. And this is the corner punch that has a place for tuck spots. And so I'm going to put that on the front of this next pocket. And yeah, I didn't really have anything in mind with this, just wanting to use up some of these items, put them into a usable form for the future, or just to store more of these die cuts and things that I want to save and have them ready to pull out and use in another book. If I'm making a gift for someone, I've already got stuff ready to go. You can see the book pages, scraps, the junk mail, Sketchbox. There's another one of those pockets. So I think I wind up putting one of my die cut pieces on the front of each of the pockets that I have in this binder. So it just gives me a bunch of little extra tuck spots for things. Those little things you keep, like the I don't know, like the thing out of your fortune cookie, or a ticket from a place that you've gone, and you can just stick the ticket in there and maybe do a little journaling on one of the tags and about the show or whatever. And yeah, just for stuff like that. And this is some old music paper. I had these already die cut, which I thought were cute. I think this was leftover ones I didn't use when I was doing my sewing journal. Thing from a bracelet, another Sketchbox postcard, and here's another one of those pockets. So I'm going to again put one of my die cut pieces on the front. And I'm just looking through again that little tray with all the things I've got. So I just kind of keep things moving along as I make projects. I take the scraps, I make those into usable things, or I save stuff, and then when those build up, I move them into something like this binder. And then when I make a finished project, I might pull from this binder to make the finished item. And so it just kind of, I don't know, it keeps those things moving through my craft room and not building up, because otherwise I would have a tendency to just hoard them in drawers or boxes, not knowing what I've got. And by doing this, it reminds me of what I've got, because I'm handling it and going through it and reworking it into new formats. So it reminds me that I've got it and gets it moving through my scrap room. And most of these are Elizabeth Craft dies. And there you can see in the back the pocket that has NASA written on there. And I put one of our farm tags in the pocket, which I thought was kind of fun. And this is all I'm going to do at this point. I'm not going to decorate the binder or really decorate any more of the pages or anything like that. I'm going to leave it in this format, and it will continue to move through my craft room and evolve into other things. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have more of a completed project in my next video, but I just wanted to show this in case it might be helpful to someone, you know, on using their scraps and, you know, being able to work through them and, I don't know, inspire someone to get in there and make a junk journal. So anyhow, if you have any questions, please leave me a comment down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. It really helps my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.